It's Holland. What's good and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a part 2 of Rosé's astrology birth chart using an alleged birth time. In this video, I will not be going over her sun sign, moon sign, Mercury sign, and so on. Instead, I'll be going over what houses each planet is in, what sign each house is in, and what house her house rulers are in. So if you would like to see me go over and break down each zodiac sign for her sun, moon, Mercury, and so on, click the iCards to access part 1. But before we get into this video, I recently uploaded a part 10 to my Produce 101 Scandal series, a part 2 to my J-Hope astrology birth chart reading, and a tarot card reading over Big Hit's new group and Hypin. So if those videos sound interesting to you, click the link in the iCards in the right hand corner to access them. So now let's get into the video. First is that this chart displays Rosé as an Aries rising. Since Aries rules the first house, having an Aries rising is technically the most optimal rising sign to have. Because Mars, which rules Aries, is the planet of aggression, passion, sex, and masculinity, people with this placement are seen as people who are extremely passionate, have lots of energy to them, someone who is willing to achieve their goals, someone who is very aggressive, and someone who has a lot of sex appeal to them. Usually, a woman with this placement typically has a very sultry, seductive appearance that attracts the attention of men, or they will be a very masculine tomboy. In terms of appearance, people with this placement tend to have a medium height, a naturally athletic or strong body, a confident demeanor, piercing eyes, and a greater tendency towards leanness than gaining weight. Next is that her first house ruler is in the 6th house. This means Rosé can be a bit of a workaholic and work occupies her thoughts extremely often. Others see her as a helpful and responsible person. She's very aware of her body and it's important that she has a healthy diet and encourages in physical activity. She may come across as more reserved and modest and someone who is more traditional and old-fashioned. Next is her 2nd house in Taurus. Since Taurus rules the 2nd house, having a Taurus 2nd house is the most optimal placement for your 2nd house to have. She prefers to have a more luxurious lifestyle and saves up for every penny that she purchases for what she desires to make her life better. She is very practical with her money and she may have a lot of confidence and self-worth in herself. With the ability to put a price on everything, she has a great gift of learning the value of things and learning to have self-esteem. Next is her 2nd house ruler in the 10th house. She has a strong need for recognition that can be a driving force in her life. She is usually ready to take charge and she is fond of structure. She readily takes responsibility for herself and for others. This usually creates a career that provides her with an abundance of money and income. Next is Rosé's 3rd house. Her 3rd house is in Gemini. Since Gemini rules the 3rd house, having a Gemini 3rd house is the most optimal placement for your 3rd house to have. She is very close to her siblings and communication plays a major factor in her life. This means Rosé tends to also express her thoughts in a very quick and immediate way, but because of this, she tends to talk on impulse rather than thinking things through all the way. Because Gemini is an air sign, this means that Rosé tends to have a more logical and reasonable mindset and tends to think with her head rather than her heart, but because of this, she tends to have a hard time expressing her emotions properly. Rosé is a very fast learner and absorbs all the information around her like a sponge. Because of this, she may have had a very easy time in school growing up. Her 3rd house ruler is in the 10th house. This means Rosé's ability to use her voice, in this case her singing, provides her with status and reputation. She communicates in a very self-conscious and professional way. Learning languages will help her to enhance her career opportunities, and she likes to gather information about and research her career. Next is her 4th house. Her 4th house is in Cancer. Since Cancer rules the 4th house, having a 4th house in Cancer is the most optimal placement for your 4th house to be in. This means Rosé has a very strong attachment to her home life as well as her privacy and her family. She associates her feeling of home and family with a place of comfort and nurturing. Her 4th house ruler is in the 12th house. Since the 12th house is the house of withdrawal and isolation and escapism, having your 4th house ruler, the house of privacy, in the 12th house means she values her privacy very, very much. Also, since the 12th house is the house of spirituality, she may have had a more religious upbringing or a more spiritual upbringing in general. And lastly, since the 12th house is the house of sacrifice and selflessness, she may feel emotionally secure when she's being charitable and helping other people and being generous. Next is her 5th house. Her 5th house is in Virgo. This means her expectations of romantic partners, her children, and creative projects are very, very high. This is why Rosé tends to spend long and hard hours on working hard for her creative projects with Blackpink. In addition, if she were to choose to have children, they likely would take on very Virgo traits, such as being intelligent, analytical, problem solvers, reliable, perfectionist, hypercritical, and judgmental. Her 5th house ruler is in the 10th house. This means her ability to entertain and perform and her creativity allow her to create a career for herself. Being creative garners her awards and accolades, and she finds fun and pleasure through her career. She becomes known for being a risk taker, and she wants people to think that she is entertaining and laid back and someone who isn't strict or doesn't take things too seriously. Her North Node is in the 5th house. This means in order for her to be the best person she can possibly be in this lifetime, she needs to focus on her romantic life, her children, hobbies, and her ability to entertain and perform. Next is her 6th house. Her 6th house is in Libra. This means Rosé's ideal work environment is original, balanced, consistent, beautiful, and pleasant, and she helps to try to bring these characteristics to her work life as a person. In terms of her health, Libras usually have a very good sense of balance in their diet. However, because Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and aesthetics, they tend to have a hard time rejecting sweets. This also means that her ability to socialize and her ability to be around people affects her health tremendously, so it is very important for her to engage in social interaction with other people. Her 6th house ruler is in the 10th house. She builds a reputation for being hardworking and useful. Her daily routines and habits revolve around her professional life, and her relationship with fellow coworkers affect her reputation. Her Mars is in the 6th house. Since Mars is a planet of passion, this means that Rosé is very passionate about self-improving herself to become a better person, her health and fitness and nutrition, and her daily routines and work life. This means Rosé tends to work extremely hard to the point of exhaustion. She puts a tremendous amount of energy into her work, and it would be best for her to work independently, as she can be quite impatient when it comes to other members not working as fast as her. She is very skilled at sorting things, organizing things, classifying things, and analyzing things. She puts a lot of energy into anything job that she does, and she can get easily defensive if somebody questions her work effort. Next is her 7th house. Her 7th house is in Libra. This means she chooses her partners very carefully. She looks for a partner who is willing to discuss their similarities and differences, and someone who's willing to compromise and collaborate. And she will feel most comfortable with somebody who can reach a middle ground with her. Since Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, the planet of beauty and aesthetics, normally people who have a 7th house in Libra or Taurus tend to have a marriage partner who's extremely beautiful and extremely attractive. Her 7th house ruler is in the 10th house. Partnerships are tied with career, public standing, or reputation in some manner. She may be attracted to or attract a partner who is professional or an authority figure. She may attract someone who's in the same career field as her as well, or somebody who takes on the traits of being competent, authoritative, hardworking, and ambitious. Next is Rosé's 8th house. Her 8th house is in Scorpio. This means she tends to discuss taboo topics very openly and freely. She may be very secretive when it comes to where she invests her money. She will undergo many transformations and changes in life, and having a partner by her side will help her get through them easily. In terms of her death, Scorpio energy usually creates a very mysterious and surprising and intense death. Also, since Scorpio rules the reproductive system as well as the excretory system, it is very important for her to take care of her body, eat right foods, and to practice safe sex. Next is Rosé's 9th house. She has a Sag 9th house. This means she uses traveling as a way to help explore her spirituality and expand her horizons of her intellect. By visiting new places and new cultures around her, she's able to empathize with other people around the world. She is very adventurous and believes there is more to life than where she lives, and she is constantly looking to see what the world has to offer for her. She has a very optimistic and good outlook on life, which helps her to get through the hard times and hardships in life as well. Her Neptune is in the 9th house. She believes that anything is possible and has a great faith in the universe. This faith can bring positive circumstances, however, but if taken too far, this could lead her to be overly idealistic and optimistic. When it comes to her spiritual views, she believes in messages of love and peace. Her 9th house ruler is in the 10th house. This means interactions with people of other cultures play a part in her profession. Traveling helps her become more widely known across the world, and she finds meaning in life through career, and she expands her knowledge through her choice of career. Next is her 10th house. Rosé has a 10th house stellium. This means that Rosé has 3 or more planets in the 10th house, which means her long-term goals, her career, and her public image are very important or very large aspects of her life. Her 10th house is in Capricorn. She takes a very slow and steady approach to work. She will most likely achieve success in her job after many years of hard work and progress. She has an image of her being practical, hardworking, and a determined person, and she takes her profession very seriously. Sometimes she does not have the energy to work on things and then later regrets her lack of action afterwards, as if she could have done more and done better with her time. Her 10th house ruler is in the 12th house. Fame in her career enable her to help other people and the less fortunate. She has an image for being very self-sacrificial, selfless, and very absent-minded. Her Mercury is in the 10th house. Since her Mercury is the closest planet to her 10th house line, she will most likely relate to this placement the most. She is very talented at communicating and uses this skill often at work. She has an image for being very intelligent and prefers frequent changes of setting to help keep her mentally stimulated. Overall, communication and mental stimulation play a major factor in her career. Next is her Jupiter in the 10th house. She has an image for being very optimistic, wise, knowledgeable, philosophical, and being lucky. Since Jupiter is the planet of luck and abundance, she's able to establish a career for herself very easily as if everything fell into place. Her career will also allow her to be able to travel very often. Next is her Uranus in the 10th house. Rosé has an image for being very unique, eccentric, intelligent, open-minded, and free-spirited. Since Uranus is all about reform, revolution, and being unique, Rosé may view the concept of public image and reputation as being a useless concept. Therefore, she may tend not to care what other people think of her. Her career will never remain stagnant and will be constantly changing and evolving with her throughout her life. Next is her Venus in the 10th house. This means others tend to respect her for her charming manner, and she has many admirers across the world. She is known for her beauty and has a strong interest in artistic fields. Last is her Sun in the 10th house. This suggests someone who is very famous and has a lot of public image to them. And since the Sun rules the 5th house, the house of creativity, she will pick a more creative career. Next is her 11th house. Her 11th house is in Pisces. She is very close to her friends and treats them as family members. She is devoted to her friends and desires to help them in any way without asking in return. And her friends are considerate about her feelings and do not take advantage of her sincerity. Her 11th house ruler is in the 9th house. She joins groups with members that share the same belief as her. She finds meaning through group involvement and social causes. She may impose her personal beliefs onto her friends. And her religion and long-term beliefs shape her long-term goals and dreams. Her South Node is in the 11th house. In the past, and may even now, she was and likely still is invested in her friendships, groups, hopes and dreams, and social justice. Next is her 12th house. Her 12th house is in Aries. She can be quick and final when it comes to ending things that have outworn their purpose. She should always watch for a tendency to keep things to herself to the point to where it is self-sabotaging through impulse or daring acts. And she may repress her more lively and passionate side. Her 12th house ruler is in the 6th house. She has a very spiritual or holistic approach to her health and diet. Being alone may cause health issues for her, and at times she may escape her daily life and routine. Next is her Saturn in the 12th house. She seeks praise and appeal from other people, and she prefers people to compliment her on when she's accomplished something. She has to learn that it's not easy for good ideas and dreams to become reality unless she puts in the hard work. Next is her Moon in the 12th house. She finds it difficult to express her true emotions, nurturing side, and vulnerabilities, and gets hurt easily but maintains a poker face and a cheerful facade when with other people. Okay, this is the end of the reading. Thanks for watching. If you wish to purchase an astrology or tarot card reading from me, click the link in the description below. If you wish to DM me a private question you have about one of my videos, here's my Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to stay snatched.